Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Today I'm not reviewing a product. This is a kind of a follow-on video from one I done a couple of weeks ago, and that one was basically, is there a future for compact cameras? And I've had a lot of response to that one and a lot of interesting comments in the comment section, and people were saying to me, not only compact cameras, is there a future for these things? We used to call them camcorders. Actually, this model came out in 2012, and I still use it very, very occasionally. I use it more for fun than for, you know, real production work. But there is a good question though. Is there a future for camcorders? We're all using this sort of thing now. We're all using the likes of a ZV-1 for our vlogging, or the Canon M50, or the Canon G7X Mark II, whatever it might be, you know. But vlogging is a big industry now, and we're all using this sort of camera for content creation for YouTube particularly, and you know, so you know, also using this sort of camera as well. This, you know, Panasonic S5 mirrorless camera, fantastic full frame mirrorless camera this is, by the way. I've got its kit lens fitted to it. I don't know why they call it a kit lens, because it is a superb lens. So, you know, we're all using this sort of kit. We're not using camcorders. Very few of us are using camcorders. Actually, I would be interested if there's any of my viewers that are still using camcorders. It'd be great if you can put in the comment section what camcorder you're using, whether it be a 4K or a HD one. I would be actually very interested to see, because I still like camcorders. I still like the form factor of a camcorder, and what I like is its handling of a camcorder. These are great to handle. This is a little compact handheld one, and you can use it like that. It's got XLR inputs, it's got a handle with XLR inputs on the top here. Everything's integrated. You know, you've got your 1 and 2 channels on the top there, and it's got your, you know, articulating screen. You know, can you believe in 2012 Sony made camcorders with fully articulating screen? They didn't start doing that until 2020 with their mirrorless cameras. So, you know, it's bizarre, isn't it? It's touchscreen as well, you know, very rudimental one. It's not a great touchscreen, but it is touchscreen. And it's got fantastic image stabilization. The actual whole lens block moves. You won't be able to, I doubt whether you'll be able to see that, but the block inside actually moves. It gives you really, really good image stabilization. I really, really like that. But camcorders are not what people want these days. Camcorders are not selling. Camcorders, they are selling in the commercial market, certainly for broadcast and industrial use. And you look at the likes of the Sony PXW range, they're very popular, used a lot. The Blackmagic Ursa range, you've got the Ursa Mini, the Ursa Mini Pro, they're still very, very popular. The Panasonic Varicam range, you know. So if you're looking at broadcast and commercial work, camcorders are still king, really. They're still a key player in that particular work, particularly news gathering. What I'm looking at is camcorders in the semi-professional and the consumer market. And I really don't think that there is a future for camcorders in the consumer market. There is a distinct gap between consumer and commercial and broadcast as far as camcorders are concerned. There certainly isn't with other types of electronic gear and other types of cameras, but there is with camcorders. So, you know, I'd like to think, you know, is there going to be any more camcorders such as this NX30 made? Of course not. I really don't think there is. This was a great camcorder, and it produced nice HD images. I mean, when I look back at the HD images now, I think, wow, they're not very good at all. But, you know, back in 2012, they were really good. And, you know, 2012, it's only 9 years ago. In 9 years, we've come from this sort of HD quality to the likes of this full frame 4K quality, you know, 10-bit 422 recording, you know, all internal with log profiles. And then you've got the likes of a Canon R5 and the Sony A1 that are shooting 8K, you know, and they're all designed like this, all designed in this sort of format. So with image stabilization as well. So, you know, I genuinely can't see the likes of Canon, Sony and Panasonic, I think those three are going to be the main players, are going to be producing any more sort of consumer level camcorders. I have to keep repeating that, consumer level camcorders. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we saw the last of them probably 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I know Canon have brought out the XA40, XA50, and they're, you know, apparently really nice camcorders, but they're more semi-pro. They're not, I don't class them as consumer level camcorders. I think the consumer will be using their mobile phone, such as the iPhone 13 Pro that I use, or the iPhone 12, or the latest Samsung, or whatever. Everyone's using mobile phones now. They're not using this sort of tech. We're not even using the likes of this little camera here, the ZV-1. And as I say, I don't think there is a market for compact cameras, and that is a separate video that I've done on compact cameras. On the subject of these camcorders, let's get back to this Sony NX30. Now, we're only looking 9 years ago, but when this came out, when this camera came out, it came out at around $2,500, $2,500. And if I remember rightly, here in the UK, it was 2,400, 2,500 quid. £2,500 for a HD single SD card slot. Well, it's actually took their Pro memory, took SD cards as well, but it took their really flimsy, I can't remember what they called it now, Pro stick, something like that. You know, very, very basic, no interchangeable lenses, fixed lens, you know, etc, etc. That was in their Pro range, that was £2,400, £2,500. Now, that was, we consider that to be good value for what it could do. Now, if you look at £2,500 now, that'll buy you the Canon R5, that'll buy you the Sony A7 IV, or it'll buy you the Panasonic S5 with lenses. You'll have a lot of money to spare. It's about 1,600 quid. You'd have £1,000 to spare to buy lenses, flash guns, whatever you need, you know. So, you know, prices have come down. They've come really down, and technology has got a lot better. So, you know, we can't whinge about the cost of cameras these days. We really can't, because even the very, you know, this is 600 quid, 600 or 700 quid, something like that, I can't remember now. This little ZV-1 4K camera, no record limit, etc, etc, mic input, will produce better results, a lot better results from what this NX30 will produce. This NX30 has got XLR inputs, granted, where the ZV-1 hasn't. But there's plenty of cameras you can buy that will take the, you know, an XLR adapter to be able to get pro level XLR inputs in, such as the, I don't think the S5 takes the adapter, but the GH5 Mark II that I've got filming overhead here, you can buy the adapter to fit on that. Now, the GH5 Mark II, that only costs 1,500 quid, and you can get the XLR adapter for the GH5 Mark II to give you, you know, that pro level XLR input. That's got, you know, all the codecs you're ever going to need for filming fantastic 4K and cinema 4K quality. So, you know, that camera is far better than the NX30, but it's £1,000 cheaper than what the NX30 was when that came out in 2012. So, you know, I kind of get frustrated when people whinge about the cost of camera gear, because it actually isn't that expensive. When I started this business in 1985, camera gear was incredibly expensive, and we got nowhere near the quality that we're getting now. But that again is a different video, and I will do a video on that subject. I'm really fascinated by the way technology has improved and gear has got cheaper. But yeah, today's video is more about, is there a future for these, whether it be Canon, whether it be Panasonic. This happens to be the Sony, and I don't think there is, based on the fact that consumers are using mobile phones, and if they are using cameras, they'll be using little compact cameras like this. And if you're, you know, a professional doing events, you're doing weddings and what have you, you'll be using gear such as the Panasonic S5 or the Sony A7Cs and the A7Ss and all the rest of it. or even all the Canon range, you know. But basically they're going to be mirrorless style cameras, mirrorless, you know, SLRs. So they're not going to be camcorders. As I say, I would be fascinated to see if anyone is still professionally using camcorders. I have colleagues in the industry that are using camcorders day in, day out, but they're doing news gathering work for ITV, BBC and what have you. And they're doing high-end commercial stuff, corporate stuff, where camcorders are still being used. So I've kind of got to rule them out because they're not the consumer that would be using, you know, these sort of cameras. So there we go. I hope you found that useful. Please let me know what you think, whether people are still going to be using camcorders in 2 years' time or even next year. We're at the end of 2021 now. I don't think they will. That's just my opinion. And I don't think camera manufacturers are going to continue making consumer level camcorders. So there we go. That's my thoughts. I would be fascinated to know what your thoughts are on this subject. And please leave your comments in the comment section below. Really would be great. And hit the like button if you like the content of this video, and subscribe if you do like the content on my channel. That really helps me grow the channel, and I really appreciate that. So thanks again, thanks very much for watching this video, and stay tuned for more videos relating to video photography, audio and podcasting. Thanks very much, bye for now.